one point I might be spreading misinformation on the internet here, which I love to do. But I think at one point they kind of referred to him as Mark. And it's like, you're taking this gimmick too far.
So Mark is dead and he is
now the Undertaker.
He is the Undertaker. Budget comes in. Whew, when the budget rolls in.
Speaking of which, sign up to our Patreon. Not yet. We'll see if it's actually any good first, and then we'll decide on that.
I feel like we'd have to figure out exclusive content for the Patreon, because it'd just be the unfiltered ramblings, all the tangents, all the stuff that we've had to cut.
Isn't that what people are going to want from this? Like,
maybe
the nightmarish ramblings of two cuspers. Two people on the cusp of millennial and Zoomer.
Can we have like can there be like a clause in the Patreon, like you can't cancel us based on our Patreon?
Because we know what people are gonna do.
You know.
No. We talk like we've not been thinking of like endless content.
Oh, we've got so much. We've got so much to talk about. We've got years. Yeah. I'd go as far as to say decades. God, I'm getting old.
If we manage to make it to the point where we're talking about fucking Bruno Sammartino and Bob Backlund.
Yeah, well, maybe. Like, I'll be very honest, like, you know, going that far back, what era do you even call that? Like, is that like Golden Age, Silver Age? Like, Windrush? Oh, man. Like, I think it's such a good point, because, like, looking back at wrestling in those days, I remember, you know, the wrestlers were more like boxers. You know, they were just big ass men. Not big ass, but you know,
not a single one of them did leg day.
Yeah,
they were all top heavy, like a Dorito on sticks.
Yes,
that's what they look like.
Very much so. And like when you watch like old docs and watch people talking about, there's always this phrase where they talk about what was it, like learning the business. And like for such a long time, I didn't even understand what that meant. And I was like, oh, what they mean by that is like, they show people that, oh, it's all fake.
It's all fake, and you have to respect me.
It's fake, by the way. Like the whole match, all matches are scripted. People have no idea, because you know there was a time where people had no idea wrestling was fake. I think genuinely, that's why it has the stigma now. I think people are still like quite attached to that controversial realization that it wasn't real.
Yeah, that need for wrestling, which I think has been broken a little bit more now, especially with things like the CM Punk pipe bomb. MJF's general existence. That I will be fair to MJF, he sticks to kayfabe.
Oh really man, well. Yeah, it's all I'm not well versed in the AEW world, and the things I have seen, and obviously like very recently, also like the last year, it's just been it's not even the man wrestling, it's just the man doing like interviews.
Yeah,
and yeah, the man, he doesn't drop kayfabe, and it's excellent, because it's one of the things I appreciate. It's like, in this modern era, like, how can you take a gimmick to the next level? And it's like, don't drop character. Like, the cameras are on. You live in the social media era, like, so he just never drops. And I'm like, for someone whose character is just to be the world's biggest dickhead, fair fucking play, because he's a dick to, like, I'm talking everyone, children, disabled kids, cancer patients. Yeah, like he doesn't drop. He's like, I'm not gonna. There's that one thing. That one footage, I don't even want to talk about it, because I feel like it ruins the point. But there's one instance where I've seen him like not being a dick. It's not even dropping kayfabe, because you could say he's still in character. There's just maybe just one person he actually respects, and it makes sense in the kayfabe and outside of kayfabe. So yeah,
who's the person?
It's him hugging the seamstress. There's a video of him. I think she's like just made like maybe like a new jacket for him or something. And he's like super happy. He gives her a big hug, and she's like a legendary seamstress.
Oh, that's wholesome as fuck.
Like, yeah, she's like made all the outfits for all the biggest names in the business, and like she's the person, like, yeah, you're not a dick to her.
You respect that
yeah,
woman.
She's the one he imagine he drops it for. The only person he drops it for.
Listen, I get you've got a wish. I get you've got 2 weeks to live. But fuck you. This is the real woman. Yeah. This is the one we care about. I mean, we've both seen the one with the guy in the wheelchair.
Oh, God.
And he's like, can you do this? And this keeps getting up. The funny thing with that is yes, he's being a dick, but he's actually engaging with the kid.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there's a beauty to it. Like, staying in that character. I imagine like even, you know, certain wrestlers that aren't as aggressive and as volatile in their persona have managed to also get away with like, you know, really committing, you know, even Taker, like.
Have you ever seen Taker's cameos?
In what?
You know, like you've got like Fiverr and Cameo where you can send.
Oh God, no! I've not seen. I've seen. Who is?
Hello, Granny.
I've not seen Taker. Jesus Christ!
Literally starts with that line, and it's ironic for it because it's the Undertaker, but he's corpsing all the way through the video.
It's so jokes because like at the end of the day, he gets paid. You could say it's bad or cringy or awkward, but someone paid him for it, so fair enough. And, I mean, and again, it's making the most out of your gimmick. Like,
it made someone's day, made their birthday, maybe.
Yeah, man.
You know, I wish he'd stop supporting the Thin Blue Line, but he made someone's birthday. We can't have a go at him for it, but we will. It's one of those where he does it entirely in character, and it's very much a case of him sticking to his gimmick. But at the same time, like, if he was to say this in an actual promo, 82 years of dominance, that's awesome! It feels like a crossover episode. Like Gilmore Girls and WWE, which actually happened. But we'll come on to that.
I don't know. Maybe it's, I didn't know what Gilmore Girls was, so I didn't really like register.
The Golden Girls, that's it, with Betty White.
Oh, the Golden. Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
What's the Gilmore Girls?
Gilmore Girls is a show I almost want to pretend I don't know what it is, but I do, thanks to ex-girlfriends. And that's not me being sexist. It just wasn't for me.
It happened.
Anyway, I actually wanted to get into like the whole idea of like behind. I don't know when getting into like gimmicks, having a strong gimmick was like necessary for wrestling. Because like I said, as we started, like, you know, personas were pretty much just like big strong men, sort of boxer-esque sort of style events. You know, they were hyped up, big main events. They were touring. They were doing, and then, you know, as an influx of more talent came in, they had to find something to make them more interesting at some point. I imagine this is me just like riffing on how I think it must have worked. But what I want to know is like, when was the defining point where it's like, yeah, you can't just be Bob Smith, even if you are 6'8" and can actually bench press to the sun. Like, you need to actually be able to act and have some sort of like characterization,
some charisma.
Yeah.
No one wants to see Bob Smith. They want to see Bob the Superstar Smith.
Yeah.
Like,
Superman, Bob Superman, Jones,
Bob
whatever.
Superman Smith, Stephen the Red Mist Copeland. That's what we want. Big red.
Let it go, man. Let it go.
Look at it. Look at it. When I'm bored, it's gonna work.
I'm telling you, like, if it doesn't work, you just come back as the motherfucker.
What a heel! Why, Stephen? Why? I think one of the things you kind of have to ask yourself is like, what the fuck is a gimmick? Like, both in kayfabe and outside of kayfabe. Because with a gimmick, you can look at an MMA fighter, for example, and they'll have their own personality, for example. All those little traits which make them unique. Like, Conor McGregor, he's leery, he's loudmouth, charismatic.
He's Irish. That's his gimmick.
Yeah.
He's an Irish brawler. Almost like Sheamus, but
almost
real.
Yeah.
That's the point. Who would win between Conor McGregor and Sheamus in a real fight? Sheamus is a monster.
Sheamus is a bad motherfucker. Sheamus has more than just being a big boy, because he used to be a fat kid.
And a choir boy.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he was a choir boy.
So if Conor came at him in some priest robes, Conor ain't getting out alive.
Interesting. That's the crossover we need. Conor McGregor and Sheamus. Anyway.
Well, they're both owned by the same company now. They're both under Endeavor.
Can we get some money for this? Can we jump in? Like, if we pitch the match to who do we pitch to now? It's still Vince, isn't it? It's still Vince.
It's Vince. It's 100% Vince.
They'll say it's not Vince, and it will still be Vince. Like, they'll fake his death or something along those lines. But they need him around.
I kind of like the idea. Have you seen Vince with the little pencil moustache he's got?
Of course, it's all you see nowadays.
It's great. I feel like he kind of did that just to be like, I'm not Vince.
Literally, it was like the last time you'd seen him, he looked like just classic, you know, Vince McMahon or Mr. McMahon Vince, and then like he's come back, and it's like, why does he look like a badly drawn supervillain? What the fuck is going on?
Who's the dad in the Addams Family? He came back. He's like, Wednesday's really hot shit, brother.
Jesus.
I want some of that money.
Because I've still got Uncle Fester stuck in my head.
Uncle Fester Kane.
But yeah, his brother.
And then you got 2010 Undertaker, who's obviously Wednesday.
Yes. Oh God, the Wrestling Addams family. Put it together now.
The worst stable in the world, and I'd love to see it.
I don't know. It's not as bad as the Undertaker's actual stable. Remember that?
The Ministry of Darkness.
Ministry of Darkness.
You don't talk shit about the Ministry of
man.
Darkness.
It sucked, man. Taker should never have had that. It was just, it just didn't work. It was a bit too gothic. It was a bit too like, I don't know. It's almost like going into the gimmick thing. It was almost like it was like for me taking his gimmick too far.
That was the gimmick. They came out on the show and they said things about like, I think at one point I might be spreading misinformation on the internet here, which I love to do. But I think at one point they kind of referred to him as Mark. And it's like, you're taking this gimmick too far.
So Mark is dead and he is
now the Undertaker.
He is the Undertaker.
Like, I watched an episode of Raw last night from 98. And by God, is it amazing. They just had a ladder match and it was 3 minutes long. It was a different time.
That's normally what you say when you're trying to somewhat excuse racism.
You can do that a lot with 98 Raw as well.
Yeah, with wrestling. It was a different time, man.
2022 wrestling. It was a different time.
But the same man.
Oh no. He's changed.
Has he?
No! That's the problem. And he'll never change. And that's why we love him.
Let's not say love. No one loves Vince McMahon. You tolerate him.
Yeah. Weirdly, I know he comes across as a narcissist, but I feel like even he's just like, I tolerate myself. I don't love what I do. I don't know why he sounds like a war criminal when I do an impression of him. But that Undertaker gimmick, the whole part of it was they acknowledged the realism of his gimmick that they hadn't done before. In a weird way, they were like giving a sly wink and a nod to kayfabe. And they were saying, tone it down, stop sacrificing people. That's a bit too far. We don't mind when The Rock sacrifices Paul Bearer on this big Brahma bullhead. But...
I forgot about that.
It's so good. I miss Paul Bearer. He was so huggable.
Is he no longer with us?
No. It was the entire angle of CM Punk versus Undertaker at WrestleMania, and it was brilliant.
Oh, what? That Paul Bearer had died?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have missed out on one of the greatest promos of all time. I cannot wait.
I feel like it's a weird thing to sort of follow up, like, oh, he died. It's like, yeah, you missed one of the best promos. I'm like, what? Like, he died and it turned into a great promo?
Yes.
This has got to be better than everyone, like, you know, everyone and their mums dedicating a match to Eddie.
Which they still do now.
I know.
I really hate this new LWO. I hate it.
I don't know if I hate it. It's as pointless as it was the first time, and at this point, you know, I do think stables are hard. I feel like if anything, you need that meh stable every now and again, and it's at least it's not too cringy. I imagine for some people, I don't know, maybe I'm a bit biased because I'm trying to learn Spanish and I've got a Latin girlfriend. It's not too cringy for me, and like, let's be honest, there were moments in Puerto Rico where I was like, come on, man, like this feels like things haven't changed, you know. It's almost like, you know, it's a different time. It's like we're really leaning into this one, aren't we? Like, but then at the same time, nation's pride, and for them it's a big deal. I'm like, yeah, fair enough. So like LWO sort of needs to exist, and like I imagine post now we're getting to sort of like, you know, the end of Ray's Hall of Fame run, and you know, now that Backlash and Bad Bunny are sort of like in the past, imagine the LWO will probably crumble anyway.
Yeah.
I imagine it was just a phase just to like really hype that last run.
Well, the entire point of it is to elevate the stars in there.
Yeah.
And in fairness, it's a less see-through way of doing it than just having them come out as the 619 gang. Like, there's actual history.
I was going to do a challenge, and I don't know if I'm challenging the wrong person. I was like, name them. Name the LWO right now.
Santos Escobar.
Yep, that's the one that I know there's an Escobar in there, which almost sounds racist, but I know there's an Escobar in there. I don't know them, for the record. This isn't a real test.
I only know Ray. I know Zelina.
Zelina,
Ray, Santos Escobar.
the one that comes out with him all the time.
Who even is that?
I don't know.
I've watched SmackDown, and I don't know.
No, Stephen. I've been watching SmackDown, a month behind because of fucking bullshit.
Sometimes that's the most fun way to do it.
No, it's not. It's really jarring when I already know that these people have lost the matches that they're hyping up. I literally had it watching like all the Backlash lead up. I was like, I've already seen Backlash. I know Zelina loses in 4 minutes. Like,
was it 4 minutes of Backlash?
it's about 4 minutes, yeah.
Oh my god, because that was like her longest match in years.
Both of Rhea Ripley's title defenses have been like 5-minute matches.
It's not as much as they think it makes her look dominant. It's not good.
It's because they seem a bit messy and quick, because it's like, oh, distraction and then boom, or something just happens, and then I like her finisher, and I do like her style. I love how she sells. I just feel like there just needs to be a little bit more with her crushing. It's not the same as like, I don't know, someone trying to fend off Brock Lesnar and then just getting relentlessly hit with an F5 anyway and it being over. It's almost like, I don't know, there's, like I said, it's seeming messy. They're seeming messy.
It loses a lot of the character. It loses a lot of the humanity of her. And at the end of the day, she's a shit-face coward heel. Well, no, Dom is the coward heel.
Yeah.
She's still a shitty heel. And you need to have those little glimpses of her getting her comeuppance in there. Because you don't want to do it straight away, because it needs to be a big payoff when she loses. Even though we all fucking adore her.
Yeah.
But if you do it intermittently through the matches, it's fine. You make the person she's fighting not seem like a sack of shit, as they've done with Natalya for the last month or so.
Yeah, that was brutal. Like I was shocked but not surprised at the shortness of their match. I was like, oh, I really thought they were going to try and put something on display here, and I was like, nope, she just destroys her. Like, it's not even
on her birthday.
Listen, there aren't birthdays in kayfabe, all right? I've never seen anyone get. Actually, no, I've seen people get cake.
I have a picture on my Snapchat of this was like 2018. Do you remember Kalisto?
Somewhat.
He was a luchador masked wrestler, and the whole thing
like Sin Cara, but not.
Yeah, pretty much. He had a really good finisher, and he had a really good ladder spot, which I can show you later. But the whole thing was 205 Live, come celebrate Kalisto's birthday. And the picture was just him this close to the screen, just grinning. This is a good guy. You don't go on the camera like that as a good guy. You look like a rapist. Especially in the mask. This isn't the black phone. Good to do that.
So, I feel like we're still on this like idea of like gimmicks and kayfabe. I feel like we're throwing this word around. Obviously, most people are gonna know these terms, but I'm just gonna come out and say it. I don't actually know what kayfabe means. I can spell it, I can use it, but I can't define it. As in, well, yes, I can define it in terms of what I feel like is a colloquial sense, but I feel like, what is this word? What the fuck is kayfabe? Where did it come from?
It's that kind of thing where you can point out when something is in kayfabe. You can point out when something's not in kayfabe, but you still don't know what kayfabe is.
Yeah, as in like I said, I can explain it, and I've actually explained it, to my partner. Like, I was like, because I just start using these terms. She's like, what? I'm like, oh, kayfabe is like, inside the reality of wrestling, or whatever it is medium you are watching. Outside of character in that sense. But then she was like, why kayfabe? I was like, oh, I have no idea. I don't know where that word comes from.
I don't know.
I don't know the country of origin. I can't tell you shit about the word kayfabe.
I mean, fun fact, at the 1995 Slammies, they attributed half of the effects to someone called Kayfabe, but that's outside the point.
Is that a joke?
That's real.
As in, no, but...
No, it was a joke.
I was about to say, is there a kayfabe?
The kayfabe is like the once-ler from the lore. They're just a pair of hands that you see. You never see their face. They are the ultimate villain of pro wrestling.
I'm gonna have to get into this, man. Like, I need an answer. Like, I'm not gonna die not knowing where the word kayfabe, and if not, it's gonna be my mission to find out. I will be asking every wrestler I ever meet. I've met zero to this day. So you search kayfabe.
I've met a wrestler.
Who've you met?
Have a guess who I've met and got their book signed when I was 7 years old.
Their books. So not many people had books, so I'm gonna.
Oh, there's been lots of books, and a lot of them are really good.
When you were 7.
Not when they were 7.
No, when you were 7.
Yeah, when I was 7.
Foley?
No,
Because
he's released books when I was 7, 9, 10.
Yeah, I was about to say like Foley had a lot of books. I don't know. Stone Cold.
Stone Cold.
You've met Stone Cold.
I've shook Stone Cold's hand.
Fuck, man. I can't believe you've not told me this before.
Neither can I. I said it in my interview for our old job.
So, you know, I'm Steven. I've got 5 years of experience. I've met Stone Cold.
They're just like, what?
What?
You son of a bitch.
That's wild,
Dread
man.
Bear. Babe, my wife.
So I've googled kayfabe. I actually intentionally spelled it K-A-Y space fabe, short for fable. I don't know why. It's not.
Okay.
In my head, it's short for fable. I don't know why. Because it's like all story driven. I felt like fabe is something to do with fable.
That makes an absurd amount of sense, and I hate it.
I'm trying to apply logic where I think there may be none. You know, because going into all the other wrestling terms, I can't even explain them really, except for botch.
A botch job.
Yeah.
Oldest time. We love a botch job. We love you,
anyway,
Mafu.
back to kayfabe before we start talking about everything else. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at the pages. In professional wrestling, kayfabe is the portrayal of staged events within the industry as real or true. I'm doing this for the cameras whilst holding a tablet. Specifically, the portrayal of competition, rivalries, and relationships between participants as genuine and not staged. Yeah. Why is it called kayfabe? Okay, I think we might have an answer. I'm just going to read this. It might not give us what we need. Okay. Pro wrestling can trace some of its stylistic origins back to carnivals and catch wrestling, where the term kayfabe is thought to have originated as carny slang for protecting the secrets of the business. The term kayfabe itself may ultimately originate from the Pig Latin of the word fake. Aki-fe?
Oh, I like that.
This is good stuff. This is juicy shit.
I'm still stuck on the term Pig Latin, but
Pig Latin's like I actually know this, or because like pig. There's Pig Latin. I've also heard the term Pig Arabic, and I think it's just like where it's like languages spoken across multiple countries. There's obviously like almost like separate dialects. So then outside of the dialects themselves, you almost have like the foundation, the base that everyone can speak. So that's like the pig, the commoners. Oh, that's a good sign. Hit the red button. It's almost like a pause moment. Just hit the red button on the camera. I trust you, Stephen. You can do this.
I don't. Nothing happened. We're exactly where we were.
Back to Pig Latin. But yeah, a kayfabe, meaning be fake, kayfabe, somewhere along the lines, may also derive from another trick used by traveling carnival workers. Kayfabian? What?
That would be a great indie wrestler name.
But yeah, essentially that's as much as the origins of kayfabe I can tell. And I wanted to know that right now, and I'm glad I pretty much found out. So it might be a bit of Pig Latin. Just remember that, Pig Latin.
That is so much more respectable than I ever thought it would be. Even the carny aspect of it, that's history.
Should we do this every week? Should we look into other wrestling terms and see if they're as interesting as the term kayfabe? I feel like we might have peaked at kayfabe.
You know in Pee Wee Herman, whenever they have the word of the week, and then when someone says it later on, we're just going to have to run like, Ray!
Word of the week we need to do rainbow effect is kayfabe. A kayfabe. Pig Latin. Cool. I feel like we drifted off from gimmicks, but that's not matter too much.
It's as valid as anything else, and I feel enriched. I feel like I learned something today, or like something was solidified in me.
Actually, on the same page, actually quite interestingly, it talks about like kayfabe families. Because obviously you got the relationships, and this is an interesting one. Because for the longest time, I obviously believed all the Dudleys were related.
Yeah. Yeah.
Despite
You didn't even question it.
despite the obvious reasons they couldn't be related.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, just body
Devon
type.
has a lazy eye. That runs in the family.
Spike is so skinny. Like,
I miss Spike Dudley. Little
oh
Rump Dudley.
man, Spike Dudley. He was just that guy. Like, I feel like this is another thing we need to do. The greatest jobbers of all time. We talked about this. Who were the greatest jobbers of all time? And
You missed some good ones.
someone on my list I actually saw this morning. Now this is a massive tangent, but we talked last about Vice's Dark Side of the Wrestling, and for some reason one was suggested to me on YouTube today, and it was you could tell I was paying attention because I can only remember one of their names, but it's Tammy and what's his name? Oh my god, you watched 45 minutes of this whilst
It's
washing
not like the
dishes.
ding dongs, is it? Or the dicks? Tammy.
You'll remember Tammy. Chris and Tammy.
Chris Candido.
Chris Candido. And Tammy Sitch.
Is that Sonny? Tammy Sitch is Sonny.
I think so, maybe.
Yeah, Sonny's an interesting one. But Chris Candido, obviously he's got a Dark Side of the Ring episode about him, so it's going to be one thing, but supposedly one of the saddest stories in wrestling.
It was very sad, but the point is, someone who knows him very well and worked with him, and I saw him cry earlier, man. I was watching like 3 people cry in a row, and it almost broke me. I was like, man, this story is getting dark. It's getting like super sad. It's when it gets to his mum. It's when it gets to his mum. That's where it always breaks me. Like, I don't want to see people's mums crying about them.
No.
That hits home too hard.
No mum ever deserves to cry.
Yeah. But yeah, it's Lance Storm.
Lance Storm
Is up there in, like, I'm going to be making a case for up there as one of the goats of jobbers, man. I love Lance Storm.
Would you consider him a jobber?
The way he was using WWE, yes, which is where I was exposed to him the most. Yes.
I mean,
because he opened every fucking show, every fucking SmackDown from my age of like 8 until I was about 13. That man opened SmackDown.
And the only angles I remember of him is the one I was watching recently. I have a very nostalgic remembrance of a very specific episode. It was Vengeance, Raw and SmackDown, because the creepy old man who I mentioned last week, who my dad was friends with, he recorded those 3 for me.
Okay, yeah.
And during that time, he was a part of the Un-Americans.
I knew you were going to say the Un-Americans. One of my favorite random ass angles.
Their theme song was so good.
The whole angle was dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
They were un-American, but they were Canadian, which is still American. You fucking
American
idiots.
with healthcare.
Like, you're still American, you idiots. Like, couldn't you got the European guys to be the un-Americans, which you had plenty of?
You had William Regal. You had the greatest European wrestler in the world.
It's like, no, what you meant was angry Canadians. That was the angle. Angry Canadians burning the flag. I'm like, this is crazy shit. This is post 9/11. And you've got Canadians.
It's not too
burning
soon.
flag.
It's been 8 months. It's fine. You know the funny thing? If they were a thing 3 years earlier, they would have been called the crazy Canadians, the angry Canadians. Sorry, 100%. It was a thing of the time.
100%. But anyway,
Lance
Storm.
He went through that. Do you know? I feel like we might have spoken about it last week. Do you know what he was doing a year later?
Not 100% sure. No, Tough Enough.
It was no. You need to prove yourself again, you boring man.
No. As in like a trainer in Tough Enough. You know, that's one of the like slow retirement angles for most wrestlers. It's like,
the
we respect
route.
you. We don't want to just get rid of you. You know, so we're just gonna put you on Tough Enough. You're gonna train people that probably will never be seen.
You get paid a bit less, but you still get paid. Might go on the road with the boys, just in case you missed them.
We keep you around. You might get a Hall of Fame appearance though.
To induct someone, eh?
Might even draft someone.
Oh, fucking hell, you're whipping out the big guns here.
Getting so rude.
Only Linda McMahon gets to do that.
Fuck.
Fucking Linda.
Where's Linda been since the scandal? She made an appearance. Are they even married in real life? Was it all kayfabe? Was it all kayfabe, Stephen?
The love was kayfabe.
So I wanted like screaming kayfabe.
Where are you, kayfabe? What have you done? But moving away from Linda McMahon, as I like to do as frequently as possible, Lance Storm was, in 2003, after Stone Cold retired, he went into that. He had a new gimmick, which was Sheriff Austin.
Oh yeah, that was sad. That I literally just rewatched that.
It was sad, but
it was super sad because it was just like, I think also looking into what was actually going on behind the scenes, I'm like, this is fucking bullshit, man. Austin, just fucking wrestle, you asshole.
what, his neck.
Yeah, but he was also protesting some bullshit as well. Around like, there was a time he could have wrestled, but he was just pissed off. And I'm like, bro, you should just wrestle, like, because now your neck's fucked. And it's like, you robbed us of Stone Cold as much as your neck robbed us of Stone Cold.
He did that in mid 2002 as well when he took his bull. But when he was doing that, there'd be times where he just wouldn't do anything. He'd be a cunt to Eric Bischoff, and do that. But what he really liked doing was he liked coming out during Lance Storm matches. On the microphone.
Just basically berating Lance Storm, saying he's boring.
Yeah. He'd come out with his blankie and a pillow.
Yeah, I remember this. I do remember this.
It's like Lance could be smacking the shit out of someone in the ring, but he's still jobbing. He's jobbing to a guy who's not in the match.
Oh man, it was savage. It was such a savage angle. But at the same time, like, it was almost like looking back at it, it's like a testament to how much of a good spirited fucking worker he was.
Yes.
He was committed, he never complained, he did those spots, and I think Lance realized as well, like, his sort of position being like the guy he wasn't a big name in ECW, was never a big name in any promotion he was in, but was just happy to be working.
Yes. He knew where his bread was buttered. He knew his position on the card. He was getting TV time every week, even if it was just being Stone Cold's whipping boy. But 3 years ago, everyone wanted to be Stone Cold's whipping boy. Kevin Owens wanted to do in 2020.
The funny thing about Lance Storm is, like, I feel like I'm, being a bit on the nose with this, but like, what even was his gimmick?
He was boring.
like I remember, I don't know if I'm making this up. I remember there was like a time where he had like these trousers that had like lightning bolts on them, giving into like the storm thing.
Like that, and then he'd go into a storm.
It's like,
that was his gimmick, his tights.
He's the storm man?
The stormkeeper. It doesn't have the same ring when you call him the Stormtrooper, does it?
I think that's probably why he was quick to like jump into the Un-Americans. He's like, listen, I'm from Canada, bro. I need something. I need a gimmick, bro. Let me jump on this.
You guys go into the mid card? Yeah. I'll take it.
We're gonna get a feud. We're gonna feud with like Booker T and Goldust. Like,
I'd take that.
What? Okay, that does, like, Booker T and Goldust are gonna stand up for America. Like, we're trying to trigger like Kurt Angle or something. Like, nah, you're gonna get Booker T, but Kane's gonna come back and whoop your ass.
He's going to do a Kane or Rooney.
Which is also, again, one of the most jarring, most random things. Like, who's here to save America? Kane. What the fuck? That was one of the most confused angles ever. I think they wanted to almost do something with it, but they got it started, and they're like, okay, well, we've just had these guys, like, basically disrespect America on TV. We need to have the repercussions, but, like, no one from the main roster wants to be involved in this angle. So let's just throw, like, our higher mid-carders at them. Like, so, yeah, Booker T, Goldust, and Kane can deal with the Un-Americans.
Yeah, and we'll bring Kane back, and we'll take away half of his mask to show you he's half the wrestler he used to be.
Hey, that's actually my favourite Kane mask.
What, the Freaks Rule Kane?
Ah, that was so good.
Freaks Rule!
There was just I wanted that mask. I still want that mask.
It was the best Kane theme song as well.
Because it was so much well fitted as well. Because, like, the original mask, as cool as it was, it looked like it was melting.
Yes.
It was sort of weird, and looking back at it now, it looks like an 80s horror mask. It's like he needed the upgrades. It's almost like, have you ever seen Jason X?
No.
Oh god, Jason X is one of the most hilarious movies.
Is that the one in space?
Yes. Where, for whatever reason, they're in a spaceship. Jason somehow got on a spaceship. I'm not going to get into that much detail, but there's an upgrade machine on this spaceship.
Dead Space.
It's literally just an upgrade machine, and they accidentally kick him into the upgrade machine, and that's when he goes from like classic, man out of a lake Jason to Jason with a chrome mask and a super machete and all this crazy shit. And it's like, that's what they did to Kane. They put him in an upgrade machine, and he came back hench, as we talked about before. He was swole. We could see his mouth. Now he can really talk. really laying the foundations for him ranting like a lunatic when he loses the mask. My God. But, you know, good gimmick change. It was necessary because it wasn't really a gimmick change at all. It was just almost like...
They could have done a lot with it.
Because think about it. How many people actually got to, like, change their look without actually having to change their style or persona like that, like, other than Kane?
Oh, I mean, it depends on how deep we're going with that.
No, because I'd say, like, to a degree, I don't know if cutting your hair counts, but I feel like Edge, maybe, like, going from, like, you know, brood guy to R-rated superstar, and the only major thing that really happened was like, but it's a similar thing, you know, he came in, like, as that, you know, like, Kane's gimmick never really changed, and neither did his, really. You know, he even did a throwback to the brood thing at WrestleMania, which...
Brood Edge.
To a degree, when highlights like that showed that it actually wasn't really much of an angle. It was just an intro. It was just an intro. He still had the same moveset.
He just came out to heavy breathing and heavy sighing if I was in the crowd.
What was that mask as well?
I don't know, because he didn't wear it back in the day.
That's what I thought. I was like, am I missing something? Because I don't think this was ever a thing. Like, what's that? The brood thing, yeah, but what was that?
It's WrestleMania. We'll let him have it. Is he injured again, Edge?
I don't know. I thought he was retiring again.
That's wishful thinking. Sorry.
Sorry,
Edge Marks. Someone's got to be out
there.
I
thought you were... I don't even love Edge like that.
I like Edge. I just...
Your story just is full.
How?
He's off his feet, everybody. He's off his feet. What's scary is it's showing 000. It's like it recorded nothing. It's all right.
I think it was because it was stuck on 4K mode.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Oh, stupid bastard, man.
It's all right.
We got yours.
We've got the other plan. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll flip it at some point to you, and then that way we'll have like a cutout like thing for when you can't see the other person talking. I don't know. We'll figure out in editing. We'll figure it out in post, man.
We'll make some created wrestlers in SmackDown versus Raw 2007. I want to say, because that had a good created wrestler mode.
No, what would be better is if you could create your own commentator, insert yourself in, and you just watch wrestling. You'd still act as like GM, but you just be, and then the commentary will just be our podcast, us just talking over wrestling and commentating on.
It's kind of like Mystery Theater 3000.
I don't know what that is.
You of all people.
Yeah, I know. I'm a weird nerd, bro. I know weirdly specific things and sometimes nothing at all.
I feel like it was made for you.
What is it?
I don't know. It's a bunch of characters commentating over like film scenes, but it was actually on like Adult Swim and stuff. And you just strike me as an Adult Swim kind of guy.
I sort of was. Oh yeah, I know what this is. Yeah, I remember Mystery Theater. Yeah, this was weird as fuck.
That's why
it's on Netflix. I've seen a few episodes. I was like, because they did like a big comeback thing, and I was like, I feel like I'd be into this, but it is strange. Like even for me.
You guys are pushing me to my limit here.
It's got 8.7 and 87% of Rotten Tomatoes. People love this shit. Damn.
It's one of those weird ones like Space Ghost.
Space Ghost is great.
I'll always have deep in my memory. I've never seen Space Ghost, but I'll always have deep in my memory because I'm a big Radiohead fan. When Tom York was on there, and he just has the song about the knife.
Anyway, I completely lost because of the camera thing. I've lost where we were at. I said we're at like we're on a script. We're not on a script.
We're not on a script. But I will say, with that Kane gimmick, I feel like there was so much more for them to do in terms of humanizing him, because it would have made it so much more crushing when he was unmasked and turned into that villainous monster. If you go all out in terms of being able to relate to someone who came in as like this no face, no voice, cold-blooded, murderous machine. And then over time, like, you're able to relate to him, and he just comes across as this weird guy who hangs out with his stoner mate.
Why does everyone lean on the stoner thing of RVD, man? Like, he just smokes weed. Like, leave him alone.
Yeah, it's why he lost the WWE title.
So rude. So fucking rude.
No,
he lost because someone was whispering in someone's ear about that.
It's probably Lacey.
he smokes weed, yeah.
He smokes weed.
And then
Yeah,
she'll go
hard
out and
before
smoke weed.
matches. I've seen him rolling. Seen him like rolling up. Doesn't care. He doesn't respect you.
I've not seen him do it, but he's got Rizzlers. He's got Raws.
I was gonna pass you the script. It's not the script. The notes
The notes.
that we made earlier today.
I think it's very important that we discuss. What's your favorite gimmick in AEW?
Probably just the man himself at the moment. Like, actually, wait. Nah, because I haven't watched him. I was like, because I've always loved Jericho, but what's Jericho even like at the moment?
Quite upsetting.
To be fair, he's been around for a long fucking time.
Yes, he is. I would honestly say that he has probably my favorite gimmick change in history, which was when he went from being cool Jericho, like, he had that very specific routine and character. He was very charismatic, the rock and roller, Ayatollah, or whatever it was, Ayatollah of rock and roller, from like 99 to 2005. He comes back, does the Save Us Y2J gimmick.
Yeah.
But then he has that gimmick change where he just becomes really cold and calculated and quiet. And he's so good at it. And I think that's my favorite gimmick change in history. He completely flipped everything that made people so enamored with him on its head. And to begin with, there's no greater risk than that.
Yeah. Just throwing everything out the window and just being like, yeah, I'm going to be a different person now.
Yeah, almost to spite everyone. And he did it really well. It was a great character change. Some really good promos, really good matches with Shawn Michaels. They had so many like little moments in that feud. For example, he throws him through the Geritron 3000 and like actually cuts him, like, smashes the glass. He accidentally punches Shawn Michaels' wife. Non-kayfabe. He punched the fuck out of her.
What? As in, like, just what, accidentally just throws a real punch?
Yeah. He punches her. And you get real heat between the two of them for it. And it just makes the story even better.
Wow. I need to see that. I need to check that out. Shawn Michaels is one of my other favorite wrestlers. Like,
You just like the song. You
Yeah,
just
it
like
wasn't-
thinking it to yourself.
It wasn't just the song, although, the song is great. The song makes the wrestler. The song makes the star.
It does. It really does.
Like, you can be a great wrestler, but if you've got the intro, that epic theme, it wins, man. That's what gets you over.
If Cody Rhodes didn't have this song, he wouldn't be over.
I don't even like his fucking song. It drives me insane.
You don't like the whoa?
Because everyone's got, like, literally, I feel like one of the things I've come back to is just whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, it's just everywhere. Everyone's song is like whoa, 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 whoa. It's everyone. Everyone's fucking song. Like Cody, Seth, Sammy. Like, it's just whoa.
Jim Johnson wouldn't let this happen.
Whoa. I'm like, come on, man. What happened to the good riffs? Honestly, I'll tell you a song that I don't think I like when I see it played. The Judgment Days. I listened to it on SoundCloud a month ago, and I listened to the song properly in headphones. Banger. Fucking sick song.
Because it is almost an actual song.
It is
Almost.
the riff is amazing. It is a song. It's pretty much a song. But,
Gestating. Sorry.
I was seeing you enjoy that.
I think the person we have to blame for this is probably... I know Sami Zayn came before him, and his... do you know his history as El Generico?
El Generico.
Yes. That
No.
is the joke. The joke is also that El Generico's dead, and Sami Zayn's really upset about it.
So what? Who is El Generico?
That's Sami Zayn's old character.
Oh, okay, I see.
Back
El
when he was on the
Generico is dead.
Indies. I'm not just laughing at the fact that El Generico,
It's
a
like
man, has died.
A real man called El Generico is dead, and it upsets Sami Zayn, but everyone calls him El Generico.
He just gets something.
I'm like,
"No."
this is twisted, man. Like, what's happening?
The dark side of wrestling again. But he came out to ole, 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 Ole. And that's where his theme song came from. Oh, oh, oh,
Okay.
oh. It's just to kind of be a little.
I
Da, 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 da.
don't think who else has got like a theme song everyone just woes to.
The original is Shinsuke Nakamura. That just sounds like the Doctor Who theme song, but
Shinsuke's one we need to talk about because I'm not getting the hype, man. I'm not getting the hype.
none of us really have since he joined WWE.
I'm like, what the fuck's going on? This guy looks out of shape.
That's because he doesn't give a fuck.
I can tell.
I'm going to sound like a gammon here.
Oh dear, yeah. This is poor choice of words. Ever since he came to America, this fucking Jack is just
He came to my country and he put in no effort to learn the language. He don't with his strong style.
Can he speak English?
Yes,
Okay, just check.
very fluently.
I've not seen it. I've not seen him speak, so I'm not sure.
There was a really
I
good.
don't know if it's a Tajiri situation, but again, I don't know if he could speak English either. Was that just the
Neither
gimmick?
do I.
Let's find out.
He could speak red mist, and that's all that matters.
Green. It was green.
He had red. He had green.
Was it red?
Yeah, it was red at first. Done.
Oh, Tajiri.
I miss him. He was so good.
Up there on the jobbers. Best jobbers of all time.
He was one of those guys who, when I was a kid, I'd never appreciate him. Like,
Oh, no, not at all. That's what I'm saying. It's almost like going back and realizing that you bullied some really good guys. You were really mean to the people that meant so well. They meant you no harm, and you were just a dick to them.
yeah.
It's almost like, oh shit, I was the asshole. Like they were just trying, man.
Yeah.
They were just trying to entertain me.
Some 12-year-old kids in the crowd going, shave your back. And Albert's just there like, I travelled for 9 hours to be here.
Do you know how hard it is to keep picking this guy up over and over again,
Yeah.
but throwing him and not breaking his neck?
I pay for my own flights.
Oh man, but yeah, it's
Speaking of bullying, I was going to use Finlay as the example for that. I think Finlay now, I think he's a fantastic wrestler, really hard-hitting style, really stuck to the character. My dad met Finlay in a pub in Stratford about 40 years ago and heckled him across the room, knowing full well that he would kill him.
Oh my gosh, that's true bravery.
That's the most rugged story my dad's ever told me. My dad's not like an overly masculine guy. He's just himself.
Is he a wrestling fan?
Do you remember World of Sport from like the 70s and 80s in the UK?
I don't remember it. I know
you,
what
you
it-
know of
yeah.
it. He loves that. He's like, get him in the Les Kellett toe hold. Oh, that'll teach him.
Amazing.
Which is why every now and then, it's why I show him Gunter slapping people's chests. There you go, Dad, like in the old days.
Dad, look at this.
He's just sat there like that. Like when
Oh,
Gary...
slap him again. Go for 20.
He's not bleeding, sort him out.
We might have to get the AC on because
Yeah.
it's getting hot in here.
I'm like Vince McMahon in a fucking brothel right now.
Classic Vince. Recruiting.
Such good shit. Back to the AEW gimmicks.
Yeah, so like, you know, other than Jericho and, you know,
MJF is himself.
MJF.
He's
Fucking
just
MJF.
an exaggerated version of himself. Every single person in AEW has the same gimmick. And that gimmick is that they're a good wrestler.
Because that's what everyone says. It was like, yeah, no, solid wrestler, solid, you know, so technical,
I-
so
I-
technical.
I know I've got no personality, but look at my CV. Dave Meltzer gave me 4.5 stars. Uncle Dave knows me.
Uncle Dave.
Uncle Dave. Like Kenny Omega. They call him the cleaner. What's his gimmick? He can wrestle.
He looks like the guy that they actually, well, they should have based the wrestler off of.
What, with Mickey Rourke?
It's almost like, I don't know, every time I've seen Kenny Omega recently, I'm like, he just looks like his gimmick is to be the wrestler from the movie The Wrestler,
Yeah.
which is about wrestling. Like, I don't know what's going on.
That's not a good thing.
That's not a good thing at all.
You listen to Bruce Springsteen and you play video games. That's it.
Like,
Same with Hangman Adam Page.
I don't know him that well.
He's supposed to be a cowboy, but he's just a really good wrestler.
He's supposed to be he can't be both.
No.
Hey man, Undertaker was, well, you know, even his gimmick was confusing because like, was he a dead man or was he not supposed to be a mortician?
Originally, he was a mortician.
But then he became the mortician became the dead.
Yeah.
And then he actually, like, was there even a transition between him becoming the biker man? Like, I don't really understand because they still,
yeah.
they still called him the dead man.
It came right after the corporate, like the ministry, but the ministry really just fell off of the wheels. The wheels fell off completely, and he just started coming out like with a beer belly, just like, Vince, I hate you. My wife's gonna divorce me. And then he gets injured for a year and comes back with a motorbike.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm coming out to Limb Bizkit on a motorbike. I'm wearing UFC fighting gloves now and a bandana. Fuck you.
Yeah,
we're like, what? Like, you were supposed to be dead. Like, not dead, but like, you're supposed to be a dead person.
At least
like,
pretend to be dead.
He's like, yeah, you can still call me, I'm still the Undertaker.
I'm the dead man.
That's confusing as fuck.
I'm not dead man walking anymore. I'm dead man riding. Hey.
He's like, oh, my theme song will still say dead man walking. Why? I don't know. I'm the Undertaker. It's like, what? I think that's why I actually wanted to watch his return. Because I was like, it was actually quite interesting. It's like, I don't know if that was actually like the way they pitched it. I don't know if it was his idea or if it was forced on him. Vince, like, listen, I'm going to kill the biker. I'm killing it. It's over. I'm done with this. We're calling you that. It doesn't make any sense. And he's like, nah, let's not do that. He's like, I don't care. You're feuding with me. You're feuding with me in kayfabe and real life. We're killing this gimmick.
I'm going to put you in that ground.
He's like, but how are we going to sell that you could? Kane's going to fucking kill you. Kane's going to actually murder you.
Valid reason.
He's going to put you because you became a pussy. Because this doesn't make any fucking sense. And he's going to rant about that until you come back.
Have you ever seen the promo they did before Survivor Series when they announced what match it was going to be? Because it's the first time you'll ever see Undertaker actually trying to act. And he's not a good actor.
I feel like I've seen it a couple times. He's pretty bad. I know he's pretty bad.
He is awful. But like he's just had the shit kicked out of him. And Vince is like, I tell you what, pal, I'll let you pick the stipulation. I'm not going to try and do a real Vince impression because I can't do it.
It's just do deranged, crazy man with a rough voice. He's fucking crazy. Right.
I just turned into radio.
Just do it.
But Undertaker's crawling up the road. He's just going, you dumb son of a bitch, Vince. I'll get you one-on-one. Buried alive! This is a man with the confidence of a galaxy about to go supernova, knowing nothing can stop it. But he's lost every casket match and buried alive match he's ever been in.
Yeah.
And he would for the next 10 years as well.
Yeah, it's terrible. He's terrible at that shit. Also, just throw out there, as much as he is one of the GOATs, one of the most over stars there's ever been, I'd say, honestly, he might be one of the worst actors in wrestling history. Mainly because the man, all he ever really had to do around like the era that he was introduced was, you know, mumble about 10 lines and then end it with rest in peace. Like,
so true.
Like, you know, and then he got to the point where it was like, well, that's not going to fly anymore. You got to talk, you know. You got The Rock and Stone Cold who literally trash talk the shit out of people and like, you know, you're supposed to be on their level and you just come out and don't really say much. So we need you to start talking. And he was like, okay, I'll start trying to talk.
I mean, off the top of my head, you think about how, like, briefly, LA Knight, for example, has been in the company. Off the top of my head, I can think about a promo he's cut. Like, I can remember when he came out and he was talking to Ricochet's bird. And he was talking about, like, he was looking into these baby blues here. And it's like, it's an iconic promo because it's on the fly. You feel like he means it. Can you name me one iconic Undertaker promo?
Oh, I can't name you, but I can literally tell you exactly how most of his promos used to go. Not promos, but like, it'd be the end of a match. Like someone that he doesn't like, or someone's done something and they've been like really rude, disrespectful. It goes dark. Dong, and then the sound of just rain and just that. And then on the screen comes the Undertaker on a shaky cam.
His hat's
Weirdly,
down.
yeah, his hat's down. He pulls it up, and here comes mumbling some shit, mumbling some darkness and some rest in peace. And that was pretty much how he cut his promos. Like it wasn't so much like, I don't know, it was like weird messages from an incel. just like, bro, what the fuck is going on? It's like, oh, you should be afraid. You should be afraid. He's gonna fuck you up. Like, but I don't know what that was. Like, I can't really excuse that. That was weird.
So the really dumb friend puts on an accent. Like, that's a good accent. You're still a weird cunt. But
what the fuck was that, bro? I don't know. He's a good wrestler. Like, trust me, he's solid.
if you gave Chat GPT a fucking gimmick, it'd be an Undertaker promo.
Oh man, you will rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Oh, we're forgetting the most important thing, the eye roll, of
The eye
course,
roll.
which Olivia saw for the first time. I was watching the WrestleMania. He comes back, and she was in stitches. And I was like, "Hey, don't you fucking laugh at that?
He's iconic.
That strikes terror into the hearts of men." We just the hair flick. And the tongue out. She's just laughing her ass off. I was like, stop laughing. Stop laughing. This is terrifying. This is frightening. It's the Undertaker. It's the dead man, the phenom. I'm like, yeah, wrestling is fucking stupid, man. This man, and this is like something I want to get into about gimmicks. Is like, take this man's entire career in gimmick and put it on anybody else.
Someone in the real world, I would like to see.
But I'm just like, imagine like in a world where like wrestling just remained solidly like, people like, Hulk physique, Brock Lesnar physique, like Triple H. It's just the lineup. There's no cruiserweights. It's just them, but still the gimmick thing going.
Still the gimmick.
Put this gimmick on any other man. Fucking ridiculous.
So we get Heidenreich coming out with Scotty Too Hotty.
Turn it up. Just some henchman just like
Banging
doing
it,
the
banging
work.
it, banging it, banging it.
It's, I think from the years of Booker T forcing people to do spinneroonies, I think we've realized seeing anyone hencher than Booker T do a spinneroony never looks good. Like Kane, weirdly, I'd say Kane actually probably has got the best spinneroony of anyone I've seen, and it's surprising because I really thought this is gonna go horribly, and maybe it's because he's so big and he throws so much force into it. He's got like this weird centrifugal force where his body just spun around the center and he actually pulled off a spinneroony. It's impressive as fuck.
It had no right to be that good.
Literally, and it's great because he even does the whole, and he's got the hair. It looks great. I'm like, I weirdly saw Stacy Keibler's not too long ago when I was, as you know, speed running Raw. Hers is awful. I've got someone else as well. Like Goldust is awful.
Goldust I can understand.
I'm pretty sure I've even seen Jeff Hardy. And you'd think Jeff Hardy is like, come on, he's pretty athletic.
Honorary black man, Jeff Hardy.
He should be able to do a spinneroony, right? Like, you do fucking poetry in motion all the time. Like, what the fuck? Come on, man. His was awful as well. Like, how was Kane? 6 foot, like 11.
The mayor of Knox County.
Yeah, got the second best spinneroony in that entire roster.
Even Vince had an interest in one. It's probably better than Jeff's.
I don't think I remember Vince's.
There was a segment.
Someone's
where-
got to have a spinneroony compilation.
100%. There was a segment where it was after Raw, and they were all trying to get the Undertaker to do one. And Undertaker, he was putting on like a sort of, but you could tell he's like, I'm gonna fucking murder all of you.
I'm gonna do this. Flashback to when he was in school playing basketball. He did actually play basketball.
Yes.
He was a center. Hang around with all these black guys. They're breakdancing in the back. I can say it. All these niggas just breakdance. They're like, yo, Mark, come here. And he's like, yo, you think I can't dance, boy? And he's like, flashback, and then cut back. He's in the ring. Everyone's goading him like, oh, I bet you can't spin the Rooney. He's like, just you fucking wait. You'll rest in peace.